Hi, this is Larry the Barberman of larrythebarberman.com, and today we are going to discuss zero gapping the Andis Slimline Pro Lie. Great trimmer for beards and basically lining up. So as such, if you've got such a nice small nimble tool, wouldn't it be great to have it zero gap so you can assist you with the lines? So in order to do that, it's very simple. You only need one tool, which will be a high grade small Phillips screwdriver. And why I love adjusting this, basically you zero gap the blade and then you actually put it back onto the trimmer. It's actually set when you put it back onto the trimmer. So that's why I love adjusting this to zero gap the Slimline Pro Lie. And like I said, it's all you need is a Phillips screwdriver. First, we're going to start by taking off the blade and then we'll set the blade. Yeah. So in order to take the blade off, we just take these two screws off on top. There's actually, you probably can see on that camera there that there's one of the teeth are actually missing. But I've been doing a lot of trips to Scotland, and what springs to mind when that one tooth is missing, they say in Scotland it is always better to light a wee candle than it is to curse in darkness. Wee means little in Scottish, so there you go. So rather than not doing the demo, I'm doing the demo. So there we go. That's the blade there. Just to talk you through what the blade consists of. You've got this black thing here. This is what's called a T-guide. And what the T-guide does, it creates a ledge for the blade to actually sit on to basically slide from left to right. So because we want to zero gap it, at this point we need to take the cutting blade closer to the comb blade. So what we'll be doing is lifting up the T-guide so the blade can sit higher so you get a closer cut. Okay, so that's the T-blade. These two screws here clamp down the T-blade once you've positioned it. So what we need to do now is adjust both of these screws and then we'll push it into a zero gap position. Then we're going to lock it again. Then we know that our blade is set, and then we put it onto the machine and you're ready to rock and roll. So we're going to loosen. What I would suggest is just loosening it slightly, just to the point that you can get it to move. And then that way, when you're trying to adjust them, they're not going to be slipping and sliding everywhere. So you just need it. So you see I've just got that just at the right thing, and it's made it so easy to adjust. And then what you do, you don't want it exactly parallel with the cutting blade. You want it about 3 or 4 hair strands below that. And then that way, when you're going around the beards or moustaches or lining up, you're not actually going to nick your client. So what you do, you just set it and then basically turn it off in the light or the shadow, whichever one you like, just to make sure that the distance from the bottom blade and the top blade are equal on both sides. Yeah, because if it goes over, you run the risk of cutting your client and your cuts will be uneven. Now, I'm not sure if the camera can pick that up, but at the moment for me, that's on the perfect zero gap. So now that's on the perfect zero gap. Just keep double checking it. You know, turn it in the light so you can see exactly what you're doing. And then when you do get it, just hold your thumb. And this is really important. When you're tightening these screws, just do it gently and then just keep increasing the tension. So go from your top screw to your bottom screw, top screw to the bottom screw, increasing the tension every time. You don't want to go in with high tension right at the beginning because the blade's going to spin out of position. So we just basically want to increase the clutch that it has, or the clamp that it has. Once you've tightened it a little bit, just double check it. Put it onto the flat surface, tighten, tighten. So I think I'm pretty tight now, so then I can just really turn up the tension, because obviously I want these as tight as possible so it doesn't move whilst it's back on. And to me that looks like that's on the money. So now that's finished, I basically just plop the blade back on to the body of the trimmer, use my fingers to realign the two screws, get the screwdriver again, clamp him down there, and there, and there you go. One Andis Slimline Pro line ready to rock and roll, and you're nice and zero gap, so when you're doing all the lines they're going to be nice and tight without cutting your client. Oh, sorry, and just as one last measure before we move on, just to double check that the zero gapping is good and it's not going to nick your client, you basically turn it on and just check on the back of your hand and the arm, and on the back of your arm, just to ensure that it doesn't cut you, because the last thing you want to do is take this onto the shop floor and it be cutting your client. So always do the check on yourself before it goes onto the shop floor. Yeah, so that's all good, tight, but not breaking my skin. So that's a nice zero gapping. I hope you all found that helpful. If you did, I would ask that you subscribe to my YouTube channel to get many more tips and tricks on how to modify, repair and customize your clippers and barbering tools. For now, Larry the Barberman signing off. Thank you.